So I guess I'm an anime duelist now.
What does that mean?
So historically, I think an anime duelist was someone who had to like break out the old Star Deck Yugi or Star Deck Joey or something. They were like old school players who just played these old starter decks or like starter deck esque type strategies, and that's kind of how you showed your love for the anime. Mostly because decks based on like the Yu-Gi-Oh like Duel Monsters anime were all really really bad unless your name was Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, and Red Eyes. Sadly, you are not exempt. You are all you're still bad. I don't care what Dragon says. But lately, anime decks have changed, and I've kind of started building all of them.
Yeah, you've been putting a few over the last some odd sets.
Yeah, so I want to say it started with the Yugi deck, the Sacred Sarcophagus deck. That's the deck where you use the Sacred Sarcophagus spell card that
Or
enables
Shining.
you, or Shining.
I think it was Sacred in Japan.
Oh, maybe that's the okay. Shining Sarcophagus, where instead of having its regular effect of banishing a card and getting it back in 2 turns, it instead enables you to use all these Shining Sarcophagus-esque monsters, and they're all, or most of them, are from Yugi's ceremonial duel against the Pharaoh. Cards like Silent Swordsman, Silent Magician, the gadgets, which are my favorite part, but even Gandor, the Dragon of Destruction, and then there's Dark Magician and Summer Skull too. So they really created a Yugi deck that plays around this sarcophagus card. It doesn't play like anything Yugi's ever done, not really, but it does let you use Yugi's cards in a new and interesting way that isn't so far behind in modern Yu-Gi-Oh where it's unplayable. Like trying to play Star Deck Yugi Evolution or something. Ugh.
I mean, I liked it too because I think they made it accessible too. Like the deck is pretty simple and
Yeah,
straightforward.
it's
But you
not a
still get
complex
to
deck. It's not
actually.
like a combo deck or even like a heavy control deck. It's like a mid range deck, something that you can just kind of have fun with your friends playing. But they didn't stop there, right? There's also the Millennium deck, which is essentially cards used by Grandpa from the DM anime, and
Sort of. Like, isn't
well,
it?
sort of, because so Grandpa in a lot of video games, he plays this character Simon,
Yeah.
who I think is his kind of
Egyptian
Egyptian self from
counterpart
the
or whatever.
past. And a lot of cards in the Millennium archetype are cards that Simon used, and they're also related to Grandpa. Grandpa used the 5 pieces of Exodia, and Yugi got them and used them against Kaiba. It was a whole thing. Well, someone said, let's make a deck using these monsters, and it's an Exodia support strategy. It can kind of do its own things where you summon your monsters and I guess you make rank 8s. I don't know what you do with
Yeah, I mean, like
those.
the fusion.
Yeah, you make, but it's an Exodia fusion, right? Like
Yeah.
it's essentially another way to play an Exodia deck that isn't just draw until you have all 5 pieces. And they even went ahead and gave you Grandpa's Blue Eyes with Heart of the Blue Eyes.
I thought that was genius.
Like that was amazing. It really sold the anime s because the Blue Eyes was his most prized and treasured card. Even after Kaiba ripped it in half, I believe he actually stuck it back together and put it back in his little like treasure box.
Yeah, I think so.
Now we have that same Blue Eyes in the game. Is it bad? Sure, but that's only because Kaiba ripped it. And if it hadn't, it would be the most busted card in the game. That's what I believe, and I'm just sticking to it.
I will say I thought it was cool how they even called back to it a little bit with its effect because it can't change control. Like so, he'll never give someone.
He'll
that
never
Blue Eyes.
lose it again.
I guess he thought he was never going to lose it again.
I mean, he wasn't gonna give it to Kaiba, and I don't know why he agreed to Kaiba's terms. He should have just said no, but
Yeah.
that's the anime. You gotta move the plot along somehow. But Konami said, "Oh, we're not even done with anime archetypes. Why? Because they made the metalmorph strategy, and this one's kind of the weirdest of them all because." Unlike the other two, which you could trace to a specific duelist, these are all cards this one character played for the most part. The metamorph strategy is actually all cards used in a particular duel. So it's a duel of Bandit Keith versus Joey, where Bandit Keith uses metamorph to turn his Zoa into Metal Zoa, and there's a lot of back and forth with Joey being able to turn his red eyes into, red eyes black metal dragon, and it's a whole duel, and they went ahead and just turned that into an archetype because you don't just have Metal Zoa, who's Metal Zoa X in this set. You have Red Eye's Full Metal Dragon, which sounds like a Full Metal Alchemist reference, which is all besides the point. It's cool. At least it seems cool. They've recently announced a Metal Flame Swordsman. Now, I don't remember that happening in the anime, but maybe it happened in the manga or something. I don't know.
Summons Flame Swordsman.
Flame Swordsman was in the duel.
So, maybe it's close enough.
But even cards what is it? Is Copycat and Time Machine. They're all represented in this archetype, even if they aren't necessarily cards that were used with Metal Zoa. I mean, not Metal Zoa, but Metalmorph. But you can all play it in the deck, and they create a strategy just from a duel. So you can look at it as, well, this is a Bandit Keith deck, or you can think of it as a Joey deck. You're not wrong either way. And yeah, I'm building that too. I don't have the whole thing together yet. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to run with it. And a part of me also wants to wait for the Flame Swordsman to come out because that card is awesome.
Yeah, that adds a lot, I think, to the deck as well.
And yeah,
So you like this new approach they've been?
I do. It's like a redefining of what it means to be an anime duelist. A lot of people in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and I'm talking both Yu-Gi-Oh players and people who are just kind of adjacent, a lot of them are fans of the original anime. And when the game started moving away from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters anime, you got more and more fall off. The further we got in the anime series, the more people fell off who were just in love with Duel Monsters. And now there is no anime. So you would say, oh, there's just no love for us, anime duelists. Wrong. Konami's been watching, Konami's paying attention, and they're creating new ways for old school anime fans to kind of dig their teeth into modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. And
what do you think comes next? I've always been, because if they're willing, because it feels like now they're willing to take a duel and extrapolate an archetype out of it. So it makes me wonder, because I feel like they've covered almost every character.
Nothing is off the table now. I didn't mention the, we got the entire Flame Swordsman archetype not long ago, and
we're getting the Odeon.
We're getting Odeon in our next Maze set, and if they're willing to make a retrained, upgraded deck for virtually any character, and all the duels are on the table too, here's my pick for crazy DM era retrain anime deck. The Masked Beast deck.
Oh, that would be cool.
It can be a Loomis and Umbra deck.
Because they did get Guardian, so it would kind of make sense. It's the other major tag duel of that.
I think that would be really interesting, especially Masked Beast Desgardius is a very popular monster. And then the masked cards have all existed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Being very annoying for quite some time. So that's my call for the big next anime archetype. But who's to say? I'm really looking forward to more of these kind of anime inspired decks, and I'm gonna build them all because I'm an anime duelist, and I hope you guys are too. And if you're not, give it a try.